Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Monday, Tuesday. What's today? Tuesday. Today is not Monday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. So I'm super excited. If you guys have not already signed up, I do have the master. I'm sorry, not the master class. I'm so used to calling it a master class. The 3 day challenge coming up tomorrow. I'm super excited. I'm actually getting ready for that. Okay. So if you guys haven't already signed up, okay, here is the link. All right, go ahead and click on the link to sign up. Okay, but today we are going to be discussing, right, the secret to Warren Buffett's investing formula. Okay, actually, that's not what I call the live. I call the live Warren Buffett's secret to investing. Okay, and so type in a one in the chat if you are ready. Those of you who are watching the replay, go ahead and type in replay so that it helps other people see the live. Okay, and those of you who are watching this live, go ahead and type in live and where are you watching from. Okay, so I decided to get on this live really quickly. All right, it's going to be a very short live. Okay, we're going to be discussing Warren Buffett's secret to investing. Okay, now a lot of the things that I'm going to be discussing, I'm pulling out my notes here so I could stay on track, right? A lot of the things that we're going to be discussing here, we're actually going to discuss in the challenge. So if you haven't already registered, go ahead and click on the link right there, okay? Go ahead and click to save your spot, right? I only have a few spots available, so don't forget to click on the link and join us tomorrow. So we're going to be tomorrow, just a little bit about the challenge so you know what to expect, right? Tomorrow, day one, we're going to be talking about what is it that you want. And you'll see that that is actually part of the secrets to Warren Buffett's investing formula. Okay. What is it that you want? Being clear on what you want. A lot of times I speak to clients over the phone and I ask them, what would you like your investments to do for you? And a lot of times, believe it or not, they'll tell me things like, hey, Kat, I don't want to limit myself, right? Or they'll say, oh, I want X, Y, and Z. Is that realistic? Okay, it's not about being realistic because a lot of things. Think about all the things that you've accomplished so much. A lot of. Okay, sorry. Think about all the things that you've accomplished thus far. There's a lot of things that were not realistic for you to accomplish. Yet here you are. Okay, so it's not about being realistic. It's about being clear on what you want. If I'm going on a road trip, if I'm traveling somewhere, okay, if I'm going somewhere and let's say I decide to grab you guys and say, hey guys, we're going on a trip, and I don't tell you where we're going. How are you going to get ready? How are you going to know what airport to take? How are you going to know what to pack, right? What to put in your suitcase? How are you going to know how long the trip is going to be, right? You don't know anything. You don't know how long we're staying there. You don't know where we're going. You just know that I'm just going to be picking you up on a trip, right? And so we need to have a destination. Where are we headed? Okay, so that we don't get pulled in different directions. If I tell you I'm going to Florida, let's go have dinner at my mom's house in Florida, right? Are you going to be at my mom's house? No, you don't have an address. You don't have a specific location to go to. Does that mean that just because I gave you the address to my mom's house, that my mom's house is the only place you'll ever be able to go to have dinner? Absolutely not. That's not what it means at all. It means that you'll be able to go to my mom's house and enjoy dinner, and then you can always have dinner somewhere else. And so when we define what we want our investments to do for us, it's not limiting ourselves. It's not being unrealistic, right? It's giving ourselves a sense of direction. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. So when we decide what we want our investments to do for us, it's not about limiting yourself. It's giving yourself a sense of direction. Once you hit that goal, let's say your first goal is to hit 1 million in your portfolio. Okay, once you hit that million, now what's your next goal? And then what's your next goal after that? And what you're just like, all my business owners out there, or my independent contractors, right? All of my people who have side hustles, right? When you first started your business, there was a goal. It wasn't like, oh my God, I just want my business to make me 5K a month, right? That probably was your initial goal. For me, that it was 3K a month. I was happy if my business was giving me 3K a month because I knew that with that 3K I could pay my bills and reinvest in the business. And then I blew past 3K, and then I hit my first 10K month, and then it was like, okay, now I'm going to go for 20K. Then I hit that, right? And so on and so forth, right? And so it's not about limiting yourself. Day number 2, we're going to talk about where are you now? So many times, people put their finances out of sight, out of mind. Type in a one in the chat if that's you, right? Type in there's no shame in that, right? How many times that you put your finances, oh, I have an old 401k floating somewhere, right? Type in a one if you have an old 401k and you have no idea what's going on with it. Your old 401k is floating around somewhere. It's with your old employer. You don't know what's going on with it. You don't know if it lost money, if it made money. You don't know anything. And you keep thinking to yourself, oh, I'll get to that later. I'll get to that someday. I'll, when the time is right, when I make time for it, right? And all of that time, all of that disorganization in your finances is what's keeping you from reaching your next level, right? And so you want to be organized. You want to face the numbers. You want to understand where you are now. Just like if we're going on a trip, if we're going to Senegal to go visit Ile de Gorée, which is where all the slave trade happened. A lot of the slave trade happened in Ile de Gorée, and they have all of the historical sites over there. If I'm telling you we're going to go visit that, you need to know, where are you now? Where are you flying from? Are you flying from London? Are you flying from Colombia? Are you flying from Atlanta? Are you flying from New York? Are you flying from Texas? Where are you flying from? If not, you're not going to be able to know how to get there. So in order to get to your next level, in order to build that 7-figure portfolio, you need to know where you are now. Okay. And then the last day, on day number 3, we're going to talk about where your investment plan. Okay. We're going to put together the roadmap. We're going to put, just like when you go on a GPS, right? You put in your destination. What's the first thing, right? You put where are you going and your starting point. Even when you're calling an Uber, right? Where are you going and where are you starting from? It's the same thing. And then Uber computes it, and then it shows a route. Same with your GPS. Where are you now? Where are you going? And then the GPS computes, the best route for you. Okay. If you're using Waze, it even computes the route with the least traffic, or the route with the least amount of police traps, or whatever the case is. It's the same thing with your investments. Where are you going? Where are you now? And a map to get you to where you're going. Sorry, I thought my light was falling there. Okay. All right. Any questions on this? If you have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. I will see them later. Okay. All right. So the moment you guys been waiting for. Usually I kind of talk a little bit to buy everybody some time, because not everybody can make it live, exactly at 8:30, right? And so I was buying some time with that. Okay. So the number one, not the number one secret. Let me gather my thoughts, right? Warren Buffett's secret to investing. Okay, there are 3 main components. Those of you who are writing notes, 3 main components to Warren Buffett's secret to investing. Okay, the first one is, you do not need to be in a hurry to be wealthy. I'm going to repeat that. You do not need to be in a hurry to be wealthy. A lot of times, especially within the minority community, right? Especially with the first generation 6-figure earners, first generation 7-figure earners. We're the flag carriers in our family, right? We're the ones who took all the risks. We're the ones who had sleepless nights. We're the ones who were starving on ramen noodles, sleeping on couches, and putting in everything into our businesses. And those of you who are nurses, doctors, putting in those long hours of studying, right? My attorneys, right? Basically forfeiting a life for 3 years. My best friend's an attorney, right? I didn't see her. I'm not kidding. I don't know how we're still best friends. That's how you know we're still best friends, right? I literally did not see Ashley for 3 years. Like, I think I spoke to her on Christmas and her birthday. That's it, right? So sacrificing the 3 years, 4 years of your life, putting in all of that studying, and all of those sacrifices to hit where you are right now, right? And so there's this pressure of, okay, I'm the flag carrier in my family. I'm the first one to reach this level of income in my family, right? I need to do more. I need to continue. I can't take a break. I can't stop right now because there's more to do, right? And we're always in such a hurry to get to our next level. We forget to, number one, savor what we've done, celebrate what we've done, and protect what we've done so far. I'm going to repeat that. We always forget to savor what we've done. When was the last time you took a moment to show gratitude for how far you have come? When was the last time you showed gratitude to yourself for all the sacrifices that you made to get you to the level that you are? All of those sleepless nights, all of those long hours of studying to become an attorney, to become a physician, to become a nurse, to become a six-figure an entrepreneur earning six figures, okay? An entrepreneur earning seven figures, right? When was the last time you took time to show yourself gratitude, right? Well, also what was the second thing I said? The third thing that I said, the second thing, because sometimes I'm in the moment, right? Sometimes I get all preachy and I forget what I said. But I know the third thing I said was to protect, right? How many times this was me, okay? Moment of transparency, okay? I hit my first 20K month back in when was it? I'm trying to think back, 2020, 2021. Okay. February of 2021, I hit my first 20K month. You know what my thought was? My thought wasn't, oh my God, Kat, you hit 20Ks in a month. Like that was just a dream. Oh my God. Thank you, Kat. You put in all the work. None of that was going in my head, right? Protecting it, forget that. What was on my head was, how do I get to 40K? How do I double it? How do I get to 50K? How do I get to 100K? And I did not take a moment to savor it, to be grateful, to celebrate it. There you go, to celebrate it. I didn't take myself out. I didn't take a week off. I didn't do anything to celebrate it. Okay. And then I definitely didn't do anything to protect it, because in my mind, all right, what is the next level? What is the next? Because I was in a hurry, because I spent so much time making all of these mistakes. I've been in this business, guys. I've been doing this. And I was just talking to my mother about this, almost a decade. Next year, we'll make it a decade that I have been doing this. Okay. And I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. I have blown account after account. I have neglected doing things that I know I should be doing. Right. I have neglected following my own advice. Okay. And so there was this guilt. And this is something that I'm actively working on. Right. There was this guilt that, Kat, you got to catch up. You got to go. You got to catch up. Come on. You wasted all those years. Oh my God. I lost 10 years of compound interest. I need to make it up. I need to go fast. I need to do it now, and I need to go it fast to do it fast. But when you look at the greats, when you look at Warren Buffett did not hit $1 billion until his 50s. I'm going to repeat that. Warren Buffett started investing in his teens. Warren Buffett started investing in his teens, and he did not hit $1 billion until his 50s. 89% of Warren Buffett's returns were made after his 50s. Why? Because he was not in a hurry to become wealthy. Now you might think to yourself, well, he started in his teens, so he had a head start. No, it's not about the head start, because he still didn't become a billionaire until 50. And so some of you don't need billions is not really the goal. You're just looking to be free. You just want to be free. And to be honest with you, some of you, your freedom number is really not that big. Some of you, $1 million will free you. 2.3 million. Some of you, 10 million will do it. Most of you don't need $1 billion. Now, if that's one of your goals, right? That's one of my goals. Okay. So is $1 billion, then yeah, we got some work to do. But some of you just need a few million. And so it's okay that you didn't start at 18. All right. So remember in my last live, okay, if you didn't watch that live, or if you didn't watch that video, if you're watching this on YouTube, because I'm going to upload this to YouTube, okay, if you didn't watch this, go back and watch the compound interest video, okay, where I showed you the power of compound interest. All right. Compound interest relies on consistency. Compound interest does not rely on fast returns. It relies on consistent returns. Those of you taking notes, compound interest does not rely on fast returns. It relies on consistent returns. Okay. And so consistency is the secret ingredient. It is not being in a hurry to become a millionaire or a billionaire. Type in a 1 if that's clear. Type in a 0 if I lost you. I know this is not what you want to hear. I know you don't want to hear this. I know you want to hear that, oh my God, come to the stock market and turn, whatever money you've got into $1 million tomorrow. Okay. One of my lives is the fastest way to $1 million. Even with that live. Okay. The fastest way to $1 million is time. Putting more money and investing more consistently. That's it. You cannot go around it. Okay. So the number one secret number one is not to be in a hurry to be wealthy. Because when you're in a hurry, you take on more risk. When you're in a hurry, you skip steps. When you're in a hurry, you think differently. You're thinking from a place of lack. I don't have enough time. I need to hurry up or else. And when you're making decisions from a place of lack, they're never a good decision. Type in a 5 in the chat if you've ever made a decision from a place of lack and it actually was a good decision, from a place of being desperate and it was a good decision. When was the last time you made a decision from a place of being desperate and it was actually the best decision that you've ever made? It's never the best decision. It's actually usually the opposite. It's actually usually the worst decision that you ever make because you're desperate. And so when you're bringing that to your portfolio, when you're bringing that to your wealth building journey, right? When you're bringing this, I need to be in a hurry, guess what? You're going to do everything to sabotage the investments, right? And so secret number 1 is to not be in a hurry. Secret number 2, having an investment plan. And part of that investment plan, the most important part of that investment plan, right, is to plan for things not to go according to plan. I'm going to repeat that, okay? Then secret number 2 is to have an investment plan. And the most important part of that investment plan is to plan for the plan not going according to plan, okay? I know that would say that 10 times fast, right? It's going to be hard. It's kind of hard to grasp, right? When you're packing, think about when you're going on a trip. I always use this analogy. Think about when you're going on a trip, when you're going to Africa, or when that's me, when you're going anywhere, right? In the Caribbean, right? You always pack your essentials. You pack extra. How many women I know, we pack like underwear for like a month, even though we're going on a trip for 3 days, right? Why? Because anything can happen, right? As women, I'm not full transparency there, right? We pack so many things. We pack 500 different outfits, right? And we're only going on a trip for like 4 or 5 days. Why do I need 10 outfits? Well, actually, you need 10 outfits if you're going for 4 to 5 days. Why do I need my whole closet in my suitcase if I'm only going for a few days? Because you never know what might happen. It may be too cold. Maybe it's hot all of a sudden. Maybe I change my mind. Maybe I ate too much and the pants won't button up, right? Maybe I look in the mirror and I'm like, what was I thinking about? Maybe you change your mind, whatever the case, because when you're packing your suitcase, you're planning. That's your form of planning. But then you pack extra things, right? Some of you might bring in your medication, maybe bring extra dose of medication in case something happens, right? You always plan for things that may be unseen, maybe things you didn't anticipate. Type in a 3 if you're with me. Type in a 0 if I lost you, right? You want to have an investment plan, because I'm going to tell you, when you're investing and you're just throwing money at things and just seeing where it goes. I'm gonna throw some money into this doggy coin here and I'm gonna see where it goes. I'm gonna throw some money in this Apple thing that everybody's saying to buy and I'm gonna see where it goes. I'm just gonna put $50 and see where it goes. And I hope this is what I see and hope. See and hope. Hope only worked for Obama. Okay, I used to be part of this MLM, and I think it was Patrick Bet-David. I think he said it. I don't remember who's the one that used to always say it. Right? He'll say, "Hope only worked for Obama." Right? I hope. I had a client. I was talking to her on Sunday. She might be watching this. Okay, I'm not going to use your name. By the way, when I'm dealing with people's finances, in order to protect my licenses, I cannot be out there putting people's business out there unless they want me to, unless they say, Kat, yes, please use my name. Okay, so if you ever see me talking about clients, I'm never going to tell your business out there. Okay, but I was talking on the phone with, she's actually not a client. She was just someone who wanted to be a client. And we were going over the plan, right? Because when you're on the phone with me, if you haven't booked your free strategy session with me, I don't know what you're waiting on, right? It's a strategy session to at least give you a sense of direction. Okay. But anyways, you can slide into my DM and always get that link so you can book it. Okay. But she was on the phone and she was like, I have, a little bit of shares of Lexus and I have a little shares of Louis Vuitton, and Nike. And she listed a whole bunch of things. And I was like, how much are you investing every month? And she was like, oh, I put in $50 in Cash App every month, just to see where it goes. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. Now let's go over how much do you need how much do you need coming in every single month in order for you to retire comfortably. And she says to me, I think she said, what was her number? Because everybody's number is different. I think she said about 4K, okay? About 4K a month that she needs at retirement. And we actually did her number, okay? 48. So that's about 48K divided by 4%. So that's about 1.2 million. Adjust for inflation and cost of living going up. Let's bring it to 1.5 million. Okay. So her freedom number was 1.5 million, right? So what does that mean? That means in order for her to comfortably get $4,000 from her portfolio every single month and never run out of money, she needs at least a $1.5 million in her portfolio to be able to do that. Okay, that's what that means. If you're still kind of lost, don't worry. We go over this in the challenge. So go ahead and click on the link there. Next level. Oh, actually, let me put it right here. Okay, nextlevel.katianacarey.com, right? And go ahead and sign up for the challenge. Okay. But anyways, so we did the compound interest calculator, okay, exercise that I do, and I do it in every free training. I do it in the strategy call. I do it so many times that I would think people like that get it by now, but every time I do it with someone, it's as if this is the first time they've seen it. So I guess I can never do enough of them, right? So we do it, and come to find out, with her $50 that she's putting in to see where it goes, would only get her to about $232,000 by the time that she retired. Now, is that enough? Is that anywhere near her 1.5 million that she needs? So if she didn't get on the call with me to get the clarity, to get the clear strategy, to know exactly what she needs to do in order to get to her goal, if she didn't have an investment plan, she would have kept putting in $50 in her cash app to see where it goes. And then 15 years later, when she's ready to retire, she would have $232,000 in her account and wondering, how is this supposed to last me for the rest of my life? This is what happens when you don't have an investment plan, right? And so the secret number two, okay, the number two secret, or whatever you want to call it. And English is not my first language or second, okay? Bear with me with my English, all right? Okay? The secret number two is to have a plan. How are you going to get to where you want to go? This is why it's important to know where you want to go in the first place. And then the important plan of the plan is to make sure that you plan for things going wrong. Think about the last 20 years. Take a moment. Think about the last 20 years. How many things happen in the economy that you would never anticipate happen? Talk to me in the chat. Think about all the things that happened in the economy for the past 20 years that you did not anticipate would happen. Okay? Let's talk about the housing market crash in 2008. That was in the last 28 years. The market crashed, and it crashed and burned. And a lot of you guys watching this live lost a lot of money in your 401k. And a lot of you guys panicked and got out, and instead of writing it out, because you weren't ready for that. 9/11 happened in the last 20 years. Okay. The COVID happened not too long ago. Okay. And all the other things in between that happened in the economy that no one anticipated. So now think to yourself, what are some things that can happen in the next 20 years? So a lot of you guys are just getting started in your investing journey. And those of you who have been working with me for a while, you started about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Some of you actually, my clients who started with me back in 2016, I was not doing social media. I was shaking hands and kissing babies. I was out there networking. So they're mostly not, they're not online really. Okay. But most of you here have been investing for, a lot of you guys started investing in 2020. Okay. All right. And so think about the next 20 years. What are some things that could possibly happen? You want to anticipate those things happening. All right. And so the secret number two, again, is having a plan. And then in that plan, you want to plan for things going wrong. So how do you do that exactly? Talk to me in the chat. Let's see if you can guess. Actually, I will go over exactly how to do that. Okay. In actually, when we book a session with me, we go over exactly how to do that. And also in the challenge, if you haven't signed up for the challenge, we go over how to do that. But think of some ways. How can you do that? How can you plan for the worst? So there's a very easy answer, very obvious answer that people overlook. But how can you protect yourself from things going wrong? Thinking about inflation. Yes, Facebook user. Absolutely, right? Notice that when I gave you guys the example of the young lady I was talking to on Sunday, right? I said I adjusted for inflation. Absolutely. What else can you do, right? There's other things that you can do. Talk to me in the chat. What can you do to anticipate things that may not go according to plan? Inflation is kind of one of those things you can guarantee it's going to happen. Okay? You can guarantee it. Okay? But there are some things that you don't know, but you know something's going to happen. You just don't know what it is. What can you do? Okay. All right. I'll leave you to think about that one. Okay. Now, The third secret and the final secret that I'm going to go over, because I said this live wouldn't be any more than 30 minutes, okay, is to be optimistic, but also ready for losses. Okay. It kind of piggybacks off of number two, but number three is to be optimistic. Yes. Yes. We want to plan for the plan to fail, right? When you plan, you plan to fail, right? You plan and God laughs. That's the saying. You plan and God laughs, right? But you also want to be optimistic, right? You want to believe in your investments, because the last thing you want is to bring negative energy into your portfolio. Remember, money is energy. I'm going to repeat that. Money is energy. Money is an exchange of energy. It is the physical manifestation of abundance. That's all money is. It's just a tool. Okay? It is a concept. You are exchanging energy. You're exchanging value. The person who you're exchanging the money to, right? For example, those of you who enroll in my classes, or those of you who decide to work one-on-one with me, right? The exchange that you're getting is my expertise and my experience, my wealth management skills, right? My master's in finance that I paid $60,000 for, my almost 10 years of experience in corporate finance and in personal finance. That's what you're getting access to when you exchange the money. So money is an exchange of energy, exchange of value, right? And so when you bring in negativity into your portfolio, when you bring pessimism into your portfolio, right? Guess what you're going to get back? Okay? All right. So you want to bring optimism. You want to believe. You want to trust yourself. True story, guys. I had when I first started doing this, I had a client who grew her portfolio. She had roughly around 30K in her portfolio. She grew it within 6 months. I think 6 months of working with me. She was at 120K. Now, remember what I said about not being in a hurry to become wealthy, right? Remember when I said that? That was secret number one. If you just joined us, okay? Not being in a hurry to become wealthy, okay? And so when she got to 120K, you know what she did? She's completely stopped investing. She sold all of her stocks. She panicked. She realized, she was like, "Oh my god, I don't know if this is too good to be true. Let me get out now while I can, right? And let me just get my money right now, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow." She did not trust herself. She didn't trust her plan. She didn't trust that she wasn't optimistic about the market, and she was like, "I'm just going to get out now." Now you're probably thinking, Kat, that's not a horrible story. I mean, she walked away. She basically 4x'd her investment, right? Yeah, she did. But then she interrupted her compound interest. Her freedom number was in the millions. And so she threw away about 6 months worth of gains just to start from scratch. Actually, she ended up starting. I had a conversation with her last week. No, not last week, last month. And she actually restarted her investments, but she started from scratch. So she interrupted all of her compound interest. And this was when I first started. So this was a few years ago. Okay. So she interrupted her compound interest, and she has about 3 or 4 years to make up. Okay. All right. Actually, longer than that. She has years to make up, because she panicked. She was not optimistic about the market, and she did not trust herself and believe in her plan, right? And so secret number three is to be optimistic and to trust yourself. Guys, you know what Warren Buffett did that was different from everybody else? I'm going to tell you right now. All these things, right? All these three secrets, right? But the main thing was, he did not panic and sell after any of the recessions that he went through. Think about all Warren Buffett's been investing for quite some time, and he outperformed Berkshire Hathaway, outperformed a lot of different firms, because he did not panic and sell at the Black Monday in the 1980s. He did not panic and sell during the 2008 market crash. He did not panic and sell after every market crash. He withstood the storm. He went through the storm. Why? Because he was prepared for it. I'm going to repeat that. Why did he withstand the storms? Because he was prepared for it. He didn't go into little doggy coin and say, "Oh, to the moon, let's go. Nothing's going to stop this. It's going to go right to the moon. It's never going to go back down." That is being unrealistic. You're not planning for it to go back down. And so when it goes back down, you're taken by surprise. And now you're in financial ruins, because you put in all of your money, all of your little coins that you saved up, you put it all into this thing because it was a sure bet and you were sure that this thing would go to the moon, and you did not anticipate what happened last year, which was the market being down for literally from January until January. You did not anticipate that, right? And so you want to be optimistic, right? But you also want to plan for things to go wrong. Because you plan for things to go wrong, when they do go wrong, you can continue to be optimistic because you knew it was coming. You were ready for it. The only reason why most people panic and sell, or panic and do and make the wrong decisions in their investments, is because they didn't anticipate that whatever is going on. They didn't anticipate that downturn. Okay. So we reached 30 minutes in the live. Okay. All right, let's review. Number one, the first secret is not to be in a hurry. You don't need to be in a hurry to get wealthy. What you need to be, it is not, we're not trying to get there fast. We're trying to be consistent. Consistency is key. If you study the greats, if you study all of the most wealthy investors, they have one thing in common: compound interest. They were investing for years before they hit a huge number in their portfolio. Okay. Number two, having a plan. And then in that plan, you want to plan for the plan not going according to plan. You want to plan for the plan to kind of deviate a little bit. You want to plan for real life scenarios that may affect the plan. Okay. Number three, you want to be optimistic and you want to have confidence in your investments. All right, guys, any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. Okay. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and click on the link, nextlevel.katianacarey.com. We are starting tomorrow. I'm super excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this challenge. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. And if you can't make it live, there is an option to access the replays. Okay, you just upgrade to VIP. You'll have access to the replays, and you'll also have a one-on-one implementation call with me. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.